Namaste. I'm Alakananda Ma, Ayurvedic doctor and principal of Alandi Ayurveda Gurukula, a unique apprenticeship style Ayurveda school in Boulder, Colorado, offering 2 and 4 year programs. Check us out. Come for a sample class and free lunch and a tour. Okay, so we're going to talk today about Ayurveda for pets, cats and dogs. How long have I been doing this? A very long time. Back in the 80s, I had an appointment with a psychic in the UK who read my aura and said, "You're a healer, but specially for children and animals." That was exciting because I love animals and actually animals love me. In fact, let me tell you this. When I was seeing a lot of cats for a friend of mine that took care of many cats, she brought a feral kitten to see me. And while she was going around the house looking for a locked space to put the feral kitten in, the feral kitten came out of the cat carrier, got on my lap, and she came back and found the feral kitten sitting happily purring on my lap. I love animals, and by and large, animals love me. So that inspired me. And in 1988, Dr. Lard taught me how to read pulses on my friend's cats and gave some hints about how to treat animals. So I've been running with it ever since. Some people are surprised to realize that cats are different from other cats. Cats and dogs have their own prakriti, just like people do. You can have a vata, a pitta, or a kapha cat. Same for a dog, not like all cats are pitta or all dogs are kapha or something. Not like that at all. Not even every breed has the same prakriti. Every individual animal has its own prakriti, has its own Ayurvedic constitution, which we have to determine in order to help them properly. And just like people, cats, dogs, and other animals have their own vikriti, whatever is their current imbalance, which is the concern that the pet parent has come with. Of course, you can't conduct an interview with a cat or dog like you can with a human. So we normally do use the parent as the informant and address the parent's concerns. Cats and dogs also have 7 dhatus, 7 tissue layers, just like humans do. They have all the same subtypes of each of the doshas, just like we do. They have all the same organs, just like we do. And typically, cats and dogs respond similarly to most herbs. Of course, there's a famous example of catnip, which is a sedative for children and a stimulant for cats. But by and large, I found most herbs, when I use them for animals, the effect will be about the same as for humans. We do have to use very tiny doses. I use the concept of a kitty pinch. Imagine how much powdered herb, if your kitty could pinch between 2 of their little paw pads, what would that look like? 1/8 of a teaspoon or less, a 16th to 1/8 of a teaspoon. For a cat, a typical 12 to 15 pound cat. Dogs, of course, come in many sizes, from a 6 pound small dog to a 200 pound Saint Bernard. I used to have a Saint Bernard friend in the area who did actually weigh about 200 pounds. What a lovely dog. So obviously the small, the medium, and the large dog will have very different dosages with a dog that weighs similarly to an adult human, having a typical dose like an adult human, like my St. Bernard friend, and a medium-sized dog maybe having the same dose as a child, a quarter teaspoon, and a small dog having similarly like a kitty pinch. How do we give the herbs? Oftentimes I like to mix the herbs in a little bit of ghee. Some cats or dogs love ghee, so they'll just eat that right up. Another strategy I've used with my own cat is if you smear the herb and ghee around their mouth, they're going to have to lick it off because that's what they do. Some cat or dog parents mix the herbs in a little bit of food, and that's how it's administered. So depending on the individual animal being, that's how we do it. I've found that cats and dogs also do really appreciate flower essences. In fact, if they come in person, they'll come and nose the bottle that they want or nose the box that contains the essence that they want. But we can douse a flower essence for a cat or a dog just like we can for a person. That'll help with a lot of emotional, behavioral, and trauma issues because so many of my human patients do have rescue animals that have been through a lot in their short lives. So I've been doing this, as I said, since 1988, just about as long as I've been working with my human patients with Ayurveda. And I found that cats and dogs do very well. Of course, it can always happen that we're wanting a miracle, like that we don't bring our animal until it's diagnosed with terminal cancer. And we are not necessarily claiming that we can turn around a case of terminal cancer in a human or an animal, although we might be able to alleviate a few of the symptoms, possibly. So don't expect a miracle when all else has been given up. It's not like that. But having said which, I found that cats and dogs do very well with this kind of non-invasive treatment, and that sometimes we can avoid the use of very invasive treatments. So, yep, I love to see a kitty. I love to see a dog. Bring them in or Zoom with them, and we'll see how we can help. That's it for today. Don't forget, like, share, join the channel, and we'll see you again next week. Namaste.